Hello platformers and welcome to part 1 of our character building quest, where we take a good, long, hard look at ourselves and find out who we are and what we want to be. In our first quest we're going to use something called attributes or base stats to find out our strengths as if we were in a video game. Video games have been a huge part of people's lives since the 1980s. Back then, it was Super Mario and Sonic, and while they still pervade the cultural consciousness today, most people are playing games like Candy Crush, Minecraft, Call of Duty. Even people who aren't gamers still play games on their phones or tablets or casually play with friends. People enjoy games in different ways, but one thing that we do have in common is that we almost all do it. In fact, 96% of young people between the ages 6 and 15 play video games of some kind. That doesn't mean we're all Mountain Dew chugging, Dorito dusting, casted MLG Pro no-scopers, but we do all play. That means that of all the kids in your class, only one statistically won't play games at all. What's interesting is that for all the games we play, people never really seem to realize just how much video games mimic real life. There's something we've created to entertain ourselves and to play, and yet their inherent value comes from how much they mirror our experiences and how they extend them into fantasy. Over the course of platforms, we'll go into how games influence and are influenced by real life, but today we're going to talk about base stats and attributes. One of the biggest challenges in games is how we can give things in games inherent value or attributes. For example, you may have two characters in a game. One is really good with a sword and shield, but not the brightest bulb, while the other is so charming that they can talk their way out of just about anything, but not really all that good in a skirmish. The question is, how do we show that in games? And how do we allow one character to be better at one thing and not as good at the other? The answer is mathematical. Many games use base stats or attributes to show how good characters are at something. For example, let's take Clash of Clans. Units have a damage per second or strength stat, and a hit point or stamina stat. Because of these stats, we know that some units will deal more damage to enemy units than others, while others will take more damage before being destroyed themselves. This is more common in role-playing games where characters have many other attributes like strength, intelligence, agility, and so on. But here's the thing. All of this is based in our real world some way. Let's keep it simple for now, and let's say that we all had just 4 base attributes. Physical power, charisma, intelligence, and fortitude. We could measure just about anyone in those 4 attributes. Every single person has these virtues, and we can measure them to determine their greatest strengths. Take these two characters for example. Let's talk about PewDiePie and Jenna Marbles. Both are ridiculously successful YouTubers with millions of subscribers and have massive audiences. They made their success by being able to entertain others by creating videos, playing video games, or talking about things they like or don't like about the world. What they do, though, is nothing that remarkable. Anyone can rant about something or play video games. It's their personality, their likability, and their charisma that makes them so successful. Of course, being an online celebrity is not easy. YouTubers are often barraged by hate and attacks on their personality or their looks or whatever. Both would have to have pretty thick skin to deal with all that negative that comes with the positive. PewDiePie actually banned comments on his videos because the negativity he believed it promoted. Additionally, while Jenner was a comedian, PewDiePie actually dropped out of a degree in industrial economics from a prestigious university for his YouTube career. It worked out well for him on YouTube, don't get me wrong, but to get into that kind of university takes a great deal of intellect and fortitude. So, let's measure our two YouTubers. We'll use our 4 base stats, with 0 being none of that stat at all, 5 being an average amount, and 10 being off the charts, best ever stats can't be improved on. Both are pretty charismatic, and PewDiePie is especially pretty intelligent, and they both have to deal with the challenges of being famous online, so I think they'd look something like this. And there are countless other examples out there. Everyone has these base stats, from Neil deGrasse Tyson to Barack Obama to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to Beyonce. Even I have base stats. So the question is, what are your base stats? Think about what you have as strengths and what you have to offer. Record in your journal what you think your stats are out of 10 for each attribute. Also, what stat do you want to build on? Pick one you want to work on most and put it in your journal as well. 2 things to remember though. Firstly, no one starts with the highest stats. PewDiePie didn't start charismatic, and Jenna Marbles wasn't born a comedian. They worked on it a lot, and they earned the success that they have. Most importantly though, remember that base stats are just that, your base. It's a starting point, and they're not static. Just like your muscles and your intelligence are not static or permanent. While there is some biology and a couple of determining factors that are out of your control, you are in control of how you learn and how you develop. This is an honest representation of what you are now, but what you work on and who you choose to be is up to you. You can work on your intellect, charisma, fortitude, or physical prowess to build yourself however you like. That's all for this quest, and I'll see you next time.